Okay, so I'm just going to put all three of mine, woo, okay, one, in order, they're numbered, 1, 2, 3, okay, 2, okay. You can catty corner them if you have smaller paper and kind of overlap the corners a little bit. All right, I'm just going to do the work right next to it. Yeah, you can overlap them just a little bit, but not too much. Okay. A, B, C, D, E. Writing equations. Writing equations. Okay, so on Thursday, we're sort of going to review a lot of this equations and parabola graphing. We're going to go back and touch base on our quadratic formula and how that connects to some of this. And we're going to sort of make one of our review posters of everything we've learned so far. Okay? So, the first thing we're going to do when we write equations is my little thinking bubble. What format am I going to use? Okay, so we have vertex form and we have intercept form. Now, I'm not going to choose standard form because I don't want to. It's not very useful and it's not very easy. Okay, so I'm going to start with vertex or intercept. Now, before I make my choice, I'm going to put dots on all the things on the graph I can read easily. So this is the number 1 graph, okay? And I'm just looking for integer points. No guessing about what your points are, just integer points. All right, so I have put a dot on all the points that I can read easily. And I'm actually going to label, so this is -2, 6, and right, that's the vertex. 0, 2 is the y-intercept. Okay, notice that I don't know what the x-intercepts are because they look like they're between points. They're like between 0 and 1, and it's between -4 and -5. Okay. So, there you go. Now, you need to pick a form that matches the information that is given to you. The vertex is given to you. So, I am going to choose vertex form. So, I'm going to start by just writing the AHK format and then plugging in the numbers that I can find. Yes. Yes, you would have to know the x-intercepts. Okay, so y equals a, x minus h squared plus k. All right, that's my first step. My little thinking bubble, I got to pick the right format to start in. Okay, let's plug in what you know. All right, so y equals a. Now, you might recognize the a value right now, but I'm going to go at 2 steps. Left 2, so that's plus 2 squared up 6, right? Pick my vertex. Okay, and my a value. Now, you might be very visual, and you're like, well, my counts seem pretty reasonable in terms of 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, opening down. So I think my a value is -1. But maybe I'm not sure. So I'm going to take a point and I'm going to plug it in and I'm going to check. Now you can pick any point you want. Okay. So 2 squared is 4, so 2 equals 4a plus 6. So minus 4 equals 4a. So a equals -1. a equals negative 1. That's the equation of this parabola. So y equals negative x plus 2 squared. How do I make sure it's a parabola? The squared. Okay. You can pick out the a value visually by looking at the counts, or you can do it algebraically. You don't. If you can look at that and say a is negative 1, I would just go straight to the answer. Okay? But sometimes the a value is not as clear, right? Maybe you don't know by looking at it. So I want you to have an alternative for finding the a value. But if that were me, I'd be like negative 1. You don't have to show me the work. If you can like, just draw that little count, done. Okay, question 2. Thinking bubble, right? Which form are we going to use? Vertex form or intercept form? So before I make that decision, I've got to look at the picture and just figure out what information I have. Right now you can only label integer coordinates. So we've got 0, negative 3, and that's the vertex, and the y-intercept, and that's fine. Okay. I'm going to leave it as vertex. Seems like the vertex is the only thing that's labeled, so that's what I'm going to use. Okay. So vertex form is what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to start by writing that AHK stuff down and then plugging in what I know. Okay. Now you might recognize the A value. Okay, because that's what I'm sort of looking for. You might recognize it because it's 2, 2, 4, 8. Not 4, 16, 4, 8. Sounds like a half. Right? If you see the half, then write the half. I'm going to pick a point here. I like positive coordinates, so I'm going to use the positive coordinate. I'm just going to pick a point. Okay? And I'm going to plug it in, and I'm going to see what happens. 5 equals A. 4 minus 0 minus 3. So that's 4 squared, so that's 16A minus 3. Okay? So we get 8 equals 16A, and then I divide, so A equals 1/2. A is 1/2. Now, right? If you see it, just write it. Now, A is positive because it's concave up. Everything should match. Now, I'm not going to write minus 0 here because there's no reason for that. There's your equation.
Do you do x plus 1 or anything?
No, because it's 0. The vertex is... Yes. No, it could be any of these points. I just picked 4 and 5 because they were both positive. You could have done 2 and -1. Yeah. Any of those other points that you identify can be used. Okay. All right. Little thinking bubble. What am I going to do? Vertex form, intercept form. Vertex is 1, 0. Happens to also be an x-intercept, okay? And I see 2 other points. That's all I got. Either. I happen to have the vertex and the x-intercept labeled. So either. I'm going to choose vertex, okay? We have both as options, and I'm going to choose intercept next, but I'm going to choose vertex form, okay? X minus h squared. Okay, so I've got my vertex, so I'm going to plug it in. This is one of those examples where it's a little bit weird. I'm like, I don't know what the a value is. Like, I know it's positive because it's concave up. X minus 1 squared plus 0. Okay, so I'm just going to look at this. So I've got 3.
Could you just write nothing since it's plus 0?
Oh, yeah, you could just write nothing. So this is 3 and this is 6. It's supposed to be 9, but it's 6. Yeah. On the next 3 examples. Okay, so 3, 6. I don't know the a value, so I'm gonna plug it in to find it. So here's my point, 4, 6. 6 equals 4 minus 1
Could you
squared.
just, like, it's pretty much just slope, kind of, but, like...
Well, except that's not it's not 2. The a value is not 2 because it's not a straight line. But that's sort of what I'm looking at.
They're right. It's kind of like the same idea of slope, like you go over and then up.
Yes, that part is the same. Okay, so I'm going to get 9a equals 6, and I divide by 9, and I get a equals 2/3. Okay, so the a value is 2/3. So that's why that one was a little bit trickier to figure out, because it wasn't like a whole number or like a half. So y equals 2/3 x minus 1 squared.